Have you ever wondered how somebody can hurt you, walk away, choose someone else, seem like they're completely happy, and leave you left picking up the pieces? If this is you, this is your video. If you don't know me, my name's Deborah. I'm a transformational healer and intuitive coach. And I work with a lot of clients who are going through what you're going through, which is betrayal. And what happens when you are going through something like that, you are left with all of these feelings of what's wrong with me? What did I do? What could I have done differently? I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy. And this is something that is very tragic, I have to say, but I want to share with you the karma that comes with someone doing this. Now, karma is not a punishment, it is just a result of people's choices. And when somebody betrays you, what they're doing is they're disconnected from their heart. They don't know who they really are. And usually, when this happens, they have childhood wounds, they have wounds that they haven't healed, and they deflect. They don't look at themselves. They don't work on themselves. They just try to fill a void. They replace. They think the grass is greener on the other side. And this is very painful for them to do what they do and to leave the aftermath with, usually it's a spouse or a partner and kids, children, in-laws, friends, and it affects everybody. And to be honest with you, I've never seen anything good come out of it. The only good that I have seen is people healing from it. And I know this may sound really controversial, but even people that come to me that have been betrayed and they still would like to manifest their partner back, it is very possible. But the only way to do it is to really do the healing and inner release work. And the partner who betrayed also needs to do the work as well. But when I coach people to release, to manifest what they want, especially if they want to bring a partner back, there is no pushing that other person to do the work at all. You just do the work yourself. And what people can experience is magical. When you start to release, anything is possible. I'm saying this from a very high perspective of consciousness, of beingness that we are. The beingness that we are can manifest anything. And it really boils down to love. If you're in a situation like this may sound a little confusing, but let me clear it up for you. If you are in a situation where you feel that you've been betrayed and you don't know where to turn, you don't know what to do, I'll share with you my release, rewrite, receive technique. And the way I do this is through energy healing, and I help you to get clarity through a session where I help you to see your thoughts and feelings, welcoming them up, and to help alchemize and to start shifting your energy and taking your power back. Because when you go through something like this, you become just about as disconnected as they are. And I also want to reassure you that when someone does that kind of disloyal behavior, they're coming from 10 times more insecurity than you would ever be coming from. Because that's going to be in their consciousness that they're going to have to deal with. For you, it's going to be, you are going to be pulling on your highest self to really start to heal. Now, Paramahansa Yogananda said in his teachings that if this happens to you, he shared his advice on what to do. He's a very spiritual guru. He's my guru, but I read his teaching about it. And when I read it, I thought, oh my God, this is a very tall order. if you are married to someone and that person leaves you, even if they just leave, maybe they're not leaving for someone else, but they leave you, he mentions to behave in such a way that is coming from our highest self, from our most loving self. Because what he's basically saying is this has nothing to do with you, even though it feels like it has everything to do with you. And that's what I coach people in my sessions and in groups, is it feels really personal. But the faster that you can lean into it, welcome those feelings, and start releasing the limited beliefs that are created from that experience of betrayal about yourself, the faster you can start to get your power back, start to live life again, and stop waiting for an apology. That's a big one. People will wait and expect and want and suffer because they want that person to recognize their value. They want an apology. They want them to regret. They want them to come back. And all of that waiting is a lot of time wasted. It's very normal. It's human. I get it. I've been down that road myself. But when someone has betrayed you and they're not doing the inner work, it's pretty much impossible for that to happen until you start to release. Now, hear me out on this. I just did a group release to manifest Q&A. I do once a month, and several people were asking about this very topic. And this may sound very new to you, but I encourage you, and I've encouraged my clients to experiment with this because you have nothing to lose. If you're on the floor in a puddle of tears and you are really suffering and feeling like, what am I going to do? Try this on. Before we continue the video, I just want to share with you that you are welcome to join my community. It is released to manifest your dream life, and you will receive support, make new friends, and really embrace this release, rewrite, receive, and to help you to manifest whatever you would like to manifest: more love, wealth, health. There are free resources as well as online events, in-person events, and private one-on-one sessions. Set an intention. What is it that you really want? This is the release, rewrite, receive way that I share with my clients. What is it that you want? If you want that person back, it's totally fine. Set the intention. I allow myself to have Joe and I to be back together again, as an example. I allow it. You're coming from your soul, welcoming it in. And what will happen in setting this intention, it's radical to the brain, to the mind. The mind will say, oh, that's impossible. He doesn't love me. He left me. He left me for somebody else. All of these thoughts are everything that you didn't want. Okay. So you write everything down. He doesn't love me. It doesn't seem possible. Whatever you want to write, because those are the thoughts that you're going to release. You're going to become conscious of them, and then you're going to release them as an experiment. I had somebody ask about the third party, the person that they ran off with, and it was somebody that she knew. And I said, write her out of the script, which I'll get to in a minute. Because what happens is when we've been betrayed, our mind will loop and think of only what we don't want. Our mind will think of the person that they're with. We're in shock, and we're just like, oh my God, and the mind will just replay it over and over and over again. So releasing is becoming conscious of those repetitive thoughts that are looping over and over and over again, and learning how to release them. How do you release them? Well, you become conscious of them and you start to stop paying attention to them. And I'll get to the rewrite in just a minute. So you welcome the feelings that come up, and you welcome what limiting beliefs come out of those feelings. So you welcome the experience that you just had, and you see the limiting beliefs, you write them down, you're conscious of them, and you start to release them. And it helps to have somebody with you that's guiding you and helping you. In my sessions, I also do energy healing, which is release work, the way I do it. And I see, we go into a deep dive, and I start to see stories of what you're holding, in your energy body, in your mind. And I start to help you to really let those go and alchemize and put back wholeness, completeness, worthiness. And your whole energy starts to change. Your frequency starts to change. You take your power back. And that's when the healing starts to begin. Then you start writing a new script. And that's where I've said this in many videos. This is the fun part. This is going to help you get out of the suffering. And a lot of people at first, when they start to look at their thoughts, it can be overwhelming because these thoughts have been looping and playing in the background for a long time, even before the betrayal. That's what I've discovered in my own life when I started releasing on a relationship that I felt betrayed. And I discovered that there were some subconscious thoughts that were running in the background from a past relationship where I was betrayed, and I never really truly healed from it. It wasn't because I was attached to that person anymore, but it was still in my energy body and had not healed. So I walked into this relationship with that in my field, and that's what happened. And that's where people get bamboozled because they feel like they don't see that coming. They don't see it's still in their energy body, their field, and that fear. Okay, and so then it appears again, and that's what is so magical about releasing is we can see it. We go, oh, there it is. It's a tendency. It's a subconscious tendency, and let it go. Release it. And if it comes back up, you just don't pay attention to it, because now you're aware of it. Before, you were just married to the thoughts and you didn't even question them. Now you will see those thoughts and you will go, nope, not interested in that. That's not taking me where I want to go. So first you set the intention. Second, you start to become aware of the limiting beliefs and start to release them. And then you start to write the script of what you want. So if you are trying to manifest this person back, I know some people are probably freaking out going, why would I want somebody back who betrayed me? Some people do, some people don't. But let me get to that point, is that whether that person comes back or not, you may discover along the way as you're releasing that you don't want that person back. That you were maybe carrying the relationship the whole time, trying to get them to choose you, and they never did. And you were holding on for dear life, and you were wanting to keep control, and you wanted their approval, and you wanted them to see you for who you were, and they never did. That can come up too. And then you go, wait a minute, I don't know if I really want this person back. Or if you still do, just keep doing the releasing and leave the results up to the universe. That's the universe's job. So you're writing the script, you're thinking of what you want. A lot of times, especially women who have been mothers, have a hard time figuring out what they want because they lost themselves in the relationship. Men can do it too. But it is really eye-opening when you start to see what was going on before even the betrayal and what happened after. And then you start to gain clarity about what you want and what you don't want. And so either way, you're going to gain clarity. And either that person's going to come back, because what happens, and this is where people miss the boat, is they'll say, okay, I'm going to set my intention. I'm going to release. I'm going to rewrite. I'm going to do this work, and I'm going to shift, and I'm going to heal. But that person, my spouse, they're the same. They're this way. They're stubborn. They don't get it. They never will. They're a narcissist. They're an avoidant. And that's what you need to release. All of those projections of that person. That's what you need to release, even if it's true. And that can be a bitter pill to swallow, because you go, oh, I don't know. Because the thing is that that was probably in play even before they betrayed you. You had all these projections, these judgments towards that person. They may have had the same for you. And so when you're involved with someone that does, sometimes they just bamboozle you. You thought everything was fine, and then all of a sudden they're gone. And so it is definitely, um, when you release and you rewrite, you're going to uncover so many things. And either they come back or they don't, but you have gained yourself. So you become connected to your heart, even if they can't connect to their hearts. You connect to your heart, and believe it or not, you will heal yourself and you will help that person more by changing you than you could ever try to get them to change. And Paramahansa Yogananda said, if you change yourself, you change thousands. Some people have asked me about how do I navigate through this with children, that, suddenly I'm left alone with the children and I feel responsible for their livelihood, their emotional health. I say try the releasing, rewrite and receive. And when you receive, you're going into a new timeline. You're becoming the new version of you, taking your power back. That's putting the oxygen mask on, and that's where you can be more of service to your children without feeling the burden of feeling responsible for them. Yes, you of course you feel responsible. Yes, you're going to do the best you can, but they're going to have to navigate as well, and you can't control what their experience is going to be, but you can control yourself. And the more that you focus on you, the better it's going to be and the more harmonious it will be, instead of completely losing yourself trying to make sure that they're okay, um, which is good, but you don't want to overdo it and be unbalanced. You want to stay balanced. When you start to really release, rewrite, and you start to see the changes and feel the changes, and you start to shift and you gain your power back, you stop waiting for them to choose you. You stop waiting for an apology. You stop waiting for them to change. And believe me, they will feel your change. Even if they're not conscious of it, they will feel it. And instead of having the script that keeps repeating, they never chose me, you can say they made decisions based on their level of consciousness. That is a rewriting the script. And all the limiting beliefs that come out of betrayal, like I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not lovable, all of that can be released. Because when you know who you really are, beingness, which is the God consciousness, you will never entertain those thoughts again about yourself. It would be impossible because you know who you are. The greatest karma isn't punishment, it's living disconnected from your heart. I want to conclude with this. If you do this, if you experiment with this kind of work, either they will come back or maybe they won't. But either way, you will have truly healed. And you will have chosen yourself. And that's the best and highest and greatest relationship you can have, is with yourself. So the person that you have become has already chosen themselves. So if you are interested in experimenting to release, rewrite, receive, you can join my community. Everything is in the description. I have a private Facebook group. I have online events and private sessions that can really help you get through a very difficult time. So I hope you like and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you all have a beautiful day.